What's up, it's Wax back with another video. Let's talk about some side chaining and some ducking to get that pumping effect. Since I always get that question, I mean numerous times just over the years. Can the MV do that side chain thing? Uh, that's a negative, Ghost Rider. MV doesn't have side chaining or side chain compressor thing. That doesn't mean you can't get it done. Do some research. I've seen one way that people do it. I actually have another way. I'm gonna show you both. I'm gonna try to run through this real quick. So to dive right into it, we're talking about EDM, dance music, but that don't mean it can be just used with that. But that's where usually you hear it the most. But here we go. We got some 4 on the floor going. Okay, simple 4 on the floor. I got a little BS synth line here. And we want to side chain that to the kick. Now since it really doesn't side chain, I'm gonna show you my way, and it's really simple how to do it. Now let's say that you were triggering a synth and sampling it into the MV. Real quick, you want to if it was 2 bars, it'd be 8 beats because you got 4 on the floor going. So it's your bars times your beats. It's 2, that's 8 right there. You notice I got coax on. If you saw my last 2 videos, I sample into the out of the MV back into the MV with the OP1. But that's, watch those videos. That's the cool thing about having the expand your output if you can get it. But back to my original statement. If you're going to sample into it, use your 8 beats if you're using 2 bars. If you're going to direct record through the audio track, you're going to direct record. It's going to be you're going to set 2 measures up, basically 8 beats. The whole thing is to get the whole crux of the matter is to get it into audio phrases. So, and the reason you want to do that is because you're going to want to chop, and you're going to want to chop divide X 8 times because you got 8 beats. And you're going to want to assign that to a patch, and then you're going to take your audio track out, mute it or whatever, and you're going to add a MIDI track where that sample is. That be right here, and you're going to want to step it in. You want to step record it at 480 because you got your 4 on the floor. Boom, 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 boom. It's just. And you're going to go into your quick edit. Screwed that up there because I gave it away. Alright, but this is what it's going to sound like. It's going to sound like the original. That. Now, those are your chops you're hearing there. Now to start ducking with those chops, you're going to X out, you're going to go in there, patch edit. Let me turn the kick on. You're going to go to your amplifier section in the patch edit. You're going to start upping it. You hear it starting to duck? As opposed to that's what it originally sounded like. Now that's pretty convincing. Real quick to fine tune it, you can actually go into each chop and you can shave some attack off. It's like a fine tune. But I'm not gonna go into that. But just so you know that you can combine the patch edit and the partial edit. And use the partial edit as a fine tune on the patch edit. The other way you can fine tune is to select that whole pattern, go to shift timing, and then move the bias up a few ticks, 10, 15, 20, whatever sounds right. 15, and that'll fine tune it some more. That'll move it out the way of the kick and give it some more pumping effect. It's very slight, barely noticeable, but it's there. All right, that's my way. Now there's another way you can do it by go back in the patch edit, change it back to normal. There's another way by using the LFO, and I have it set up already. But what you're gonna do is you're gonna go on the LFO. You're gonna make sure every pad has the key sync on. You're gonna make sure the waveform is bend up for every chop. So key sync on for every chop, bend up for every chop, and the rate. There's a whole note there. You got to play with it depending on your speed of your track and whatnot. And you're gonna come back out and you're gonna turn the amplifier up to where you like it. Let's just try it all the way. That's the way a lot of people do it with the LFO. I like combining it because I like to take the attack off of it just a little bit. You can hear that attack in the beginning. So I just like to offset the attack just a little bit. There you go. So you can combine both of those techniques to get something really good going. Let me set all those back. Okay, they're all set back. Now let's say you had more than 4 on the floor going. You had where you had an extra kick or something thrown in there. So you had 9 kicks over that time. What you would do is you would resample that track, that kick drum track, to over 8 beats, just like before, because it's 2 bars, and you would save it as an audio track. You would go on your audio phrases. Now that, I realize that's not 9 kicks, that's normal 8, but I'm just gonna just show you how you would do that. You resample that. You would go in. You would you go on the chop. You would auto chop and you would chop by level because you want to find out how many kicks you have. Execute. I know this is 8 here, but just say it was 9. What you would do is you would write down every chop, the start point. You go through, you write them all down. Just like that. Now once you had those written down, you come out and you would go to your sample and you would go to chop. You would auto chop and you would auto chop divide X. You would do it 9 times. Execute. Now what you have to do is for each chop after the first one, of course, you'd have to adjust the start point to go and manually adjust it to those numbers that you have. So you would end up with the same amount of chops for the same amount of kicks, and they be in the exact same places. Does that make sense? Then you would copy your kick pattern. Take your kick pattern and you would copy it to another. You make another MIDI track, and you copy your kick pattern there. I'm not going to actually run out and do all this, but yeah, you just copy and paste, to that next track, and then you have your pattern here. And then what you would do is you would go in your event editor, and you would just go through and you would just swap the sounds. So instead of kick, you already have the one kick pattern, you have the copy kick pattern, and now you would put those chops in exactly the same places the kicks would be. And then from there, you go right back to the beginning of the technique I showed you, where you just go in, instead of partial edit, you go in your patch edit and you adjust your attack offset. And it's that simple. I mean, it's a little more surgical if you don't have just 4 kicks, if you got extra kicks going or whatever. But it's doable and it's not that hard. So I hope that makes some sense. See, let me play something that I was just messing around with. Don't ever confuse me for like an EDM guy, because I don't do that stuff. And if I insult any EDM people, my bad. But we'll just throw this out there. My bad. I have to change. Gotta put I took my stuff off. Get my pump back in there. Alright, here we go. Just rock this out for a minute. So there it is. I hope that helps some people out. with the side chain ducking pumping thing. I mean, people that are in the EDM, I know there are a lot of people out there into it, but that's a way around it on the MV. It's pretty convincing. Um, like I said, play around with it, experiment with it, and get back to me with some stuff you made using that technique. Let me know how you like it, if it works out for you. Um, wow, with that said, I think I showed you everything as far as that technique goes. I don't think I left anything out. Um, I know it might be hard to follow if you don't know all the basics of EMV, but most people do by now. Uh, yeah, I think I'm out as far as that goes. Yeah, waxing them out, man.